the day that we had. No, like...
It's been a day.
But you know what? We finished 2 clients in 4 hours, and it was good. They both ended up good, but it was just like so. I don't even. There's not even words. We trauma bonded today.
Yes, we did.
We trauma bonded today.
We did. We never have that happen, but like we had one formula that was just kind of throwing us for a loop, and we were just kind of crossing our fingers and just praying, and it pulled through. But we've had an experience today. So then we start podcasting. I turn on the video, not the audio. So if you're on YouTube, you saw that. If not, go watch.
Oh my gosh.
But we have Krista on the co-host mic today.
Hey guys, I'm back. It's been a minute. My last my appearance on the podcast was when do you want Chick-fil-A?
You just come in, do you guys want chicken? And then you start talking about like the spiciness and like your butthole and stuff. People loved that though.
Something about me. I'm as real as you can get. I'm a little transparent. Sometimes too transparent.
I'm the same way. Like we have no filter around here, and that's what I like. I like to hire people like that so I don't freak them out. But anyway, we need to start doing this more because Krista's been on a few episodes. I think the first one you were on was like as a guest though when I was interviewing you.
It was you and Christina, and then I came on talking about salon ownership. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's crazy. Like that was so formal, and now it's just like
for me. I'm like, well,
booty hole on fire. Like it's evolved a lot.
And I still fangirl every time. I'm like, when Wednesday rolls around, I'm like, yes, I get to go in. Yeah.
Not that you're not here pretty much.
Like I would probably quit behind the chair doing clients with myself versus like quit with just assisting you.
Should we tell them our little idea that we might have coming? We could just like sneak peek it.
Just like tease it.
Yeah. Yeah. We thought of this idea almost a year ago. Yeah. And we were going to do it, and then something else came up, and now we're going to do it, I think.
Okay, I'll give a sneak peek, and then, so it's a YouTube series. Yes. That's what I'm going to say.
And it's going to involve hair and opportunity.
Yes.
There you go.
This will be so good.
Stay tuned. It's going to be really, really good. And this is good for if TikTok does shut down, like YouTube might make a comeback, you know?
So, what's going on with that?
I don't know. I just know that, like, it's gone... like past the point it needed to be approved. Like maybe they passed a bill or something. And now I think the cutoff's in like a few months, and they have to, I shouldn't be the one educating on this, but not YouTube, TikTok has to sell to an American company or it gets shut down. Cause right now it's owned by a Chinese company. Oh. And they think that China's like spying on us with it. So if it gets shut down, I think it'll just turn into something else. Cause TikTok used to be like Vine and then Musical.ly. So it'll probably just reinvent itself.
There's going to be some new app.
There will. But like, you'll lose your following though. Like it's not going to translate. And YouTube, I think like longer videos are now more popular on TikTok now.
Oh yeah.
And so I think YouTube is kind of making a comeback. So this is a good time for us to do it. Yeah. So we're excited. Stay tuned. But do you want to start with highlights and lowlights before the topic? Do you want to go first or do you want me to?
You go first.
Here's our highlights and lowlights of the week. Okay. I would say I'll start with my low light and then end on a high note. I would say my low light is that I don't even know. Let me think. There's been so many bad things that how do I narrow it down?
Can you even talk on freaking camera?
No, literally. Oh, I actually have a low light I want to talk about, and I'm going to be kind of vague, but I actually wanted to do a TikTok about this topic. Okay. Not getting into details, but the topic in general. Okay. My low light is over the last like week and a half, I have heard three rumors about myself that have literally no grain of truth. And typically I'm the type of person that's like, oh, where there's smoke, there's fire. Like typically a rumor starts somewhere and kind of evolves. But I have heard 3 rumors this week that I'm like, what? Like I can't even think of how, who's there? Is anyone home? Like I can't even think of how those would start. And so I'm like, what? Like mind blowing. So I just think in general though, like with people who are like sharing their lives, and I don't see myself as a celebrity or even an influencer. I know I have a following, but I don't see myself that way, but I follow people who I see that way. Yeah. So I get why people do it, but I'm like, we're all people, but like, I think it's entertaining to talk about those people like they're not humans. Like they're a character. Mm-hmm. And I just think people love to talk. And I'm just like, we need to be better at that as a society. Like I love gossiping. I'm not going to lie. Like it's fun to have a gossip vent sesh, but like, I don't know, like when things like literally like appear out of nowhere, I'm like, what the? Yeah. It's like the Reddit stuff. Like I don't read Reddit, but like Jordan does, and he'll tell me things, and I'm like, where did that come from? Like,
that's so crazy.
I know.
People on the internet these days, it's like Gen Z. I don't know who it is. Millennials, Gen Z, the baby boomers. What are our babies? What? They're Gen Z, aren't they?
Are our babies Gen Z?
I don't know.
Something
or maybe
else?
they're like XY.
I heard they're called like Generation Wi-Fi. Yeah. I'm like, is that true? I'm going to Google this though. Yeah. Wait, I'm going to Google. When was, okay, we had kids in 2020.
Yeah,
so let's
2020.
just say babies born in 2020 are called what? Oh, they're Generation Alpha.
That's fitting.
That is. And that's for babies born between 2011 and 2025. So if
Alpha.
we're both done having kids, then our kids will just be Generation Alphas. If you have another one, that could be something else. Alpha. I kind of like Alpha.
I know. I'm like, that means
that.
they're strong. They're independent. They're like strong-minded, strong-willed. Like,
I think that's good after Gen Z.
Yeah.
Because Gen Z I love, like sometimes they can be a little like too crazy with like cancel culture and stuff like that. But if you're a Gen Z, I love you. I'm sorry. A lot of our stylists are Gen Z. Like some of our stylists are like, I was born in 2003. And I'm like wow. I'm old. I am so old.
Okay.
But yeah, anyway. That was my low light, is just that people suck. And then my highlight is that we are going to St. George for the weekend, and I'm excited to just like do something fun with my kids, because I feel like I've been so busy this year that I feel like I've just been like living in a blur, and they don't get as much of my time and attention as they should. So I'm excited to like have an Easter weekend with them and like do the Easter baskets and like all of that. So I'm super excited. What about you?
Good. I feel like my low light... Okay, going along with like your I also heard a rumor about me recently.
Did I hear this?
Yes. And I just feel, I just think that rumors are silly. I think that they're people that don't have anything better to do with their lives, but it's also annoying because
it affects your life.
Yeah, there's a rumor going around that I had said something about somebody that really didn't even, like, wasn't even a thing. And it had nothing, this whole situation had nothing to do with me. And I just like got pulled into it. And I think I got pulled into it because I'm friends with the person that it was about and like all this stuff. And so anyways, I just think that I think that's just annoying, but whatever. I mean, if they're talking about me, okay.
You're entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, any publicity is good publicity, I guess.
I know, that's the mindset I try to have.
I'm like, you picked me?
Yes. Am I a pick me girl?
Yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh, what made you decide to pick me?
You should just call that person and be like, I'm so flattered.
I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm blushing.
You know what though? I have learned like over the years, because I've always gotten hate on social media, but over the years, I feel like I've learned that if you do respond with humor, it's so much more beneficial and it's healing, you know?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So I'm like, whatever. And it wasn't even that big of a deal, but I just was kind of like, oh my gosh, whatever. Like I kind of just laughed at it. But, and then my highlight is that we just got back from Orlando. That was fun. Super fun. It was such a good class. Yeah. We had a really good time. I also feel like I'm excited. Well, I guess Chicago's so far away. I'm excited for all the Jay-Z things.
I know, right? Well, I mean, it's less than a month away.
Yeah, but I'm excited for Easter. I'm really like, I feel like this year I'm coming into a more like established, confident version of myself. And so I can feel that like coming up within me type of thing.
You're in your Krista era.
In my confident era. No, I love it. So I think life's good right now. I guess, awesome. It's kind of a broad low light, or a highlight, but I really, Orlando was so fun. That's probably
it was so good. It
was so great.
Orlando's always a blast. And we go back in like less than 2 months for premiere.
Yeah.
So we're so
and I made
excited.
I made a best friend on a plane too.
Oh, you did?
The guy sitting next to me, we just like chatted. We just chopped it up.
I was
on the plane for like 2.5 hours.
You at the beginning before takeoff, and then I figured it would just die down. And it was like halfway through the flight and you're still going. I'm like, I hope she's okay. But you seemed like you were enjoying it.
No,
so
it was great. Yeah. I taught him all about God. It was perfect. Well, not that I didn't teach him about God, but
he's the same religion. You're like, I'm baptized him.
Yeah. The reason he has a testimony is because of me.
Well, you had a lot to like talk about, because you had similar interests.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah, we just like chopped it up.
My biggest fear is talking to someone on a plane.
Why?
I just feel like that's my time to like get work done or B, like decompress. Yeah. Especially early morning when I look like crap, like we don't get ready for flights. I'm like, don't talk to me.
Yeah, that's true. No, so when Blake and I were engaged, we went back east to Ohio, and I got sat next to this guy named Joey. Shout out Joey.
Okay.
And we're friends on Facebook.
So you have made friends everywhere. I wish I was
We chatted on the plane, and he had no idea. He just like didn't believe like in an afterlife, really, or just like.
Do you always just talk to people about religion?
That's like my go-to. That's like my pickup line.
So, what religion are you? What do you believe?
That's my whole personality. Just kidding.
Who's your Lord and Savior?
Seriously. And anyways, we just like talked, and it turned out like.
What religion was he?
He wasn't any religion.
Oh,
like
okay.
And his mom had died of cancer, and I was like, oh, my dad died of cancer too. Like, we bonded.
You always bring that up.
I know. I'm like, hey, well, it's because it's like a big life event. And I think it's it's a big reason of like why I am who I am. You know, it planted my roots essentially. Yeah. And anyways, and now like even oh gosh, that was like probably 8 years ago. And we're friends on Facebook. We send each other Christmas cards.
Did he convert?
And no, not that I'm aware of, unfortunately. Just kidding. No, I'm totally joking.
Yeah.
But like he messaged me like a few months later and was like, hey, he's like, I just wanted to reach out and I just want to let you know that conversation we had on the plane really helped me like process some things. And I really appreciate it and helped me open up my mind to some things. And he's like, I just really needed that. He's like, the things that you said to me, I think were like divinely inspired. And I just wanted to reach out and let you know,
that's
thank
cool.
You. Yeah.
Because don't you ever feel like there are times in your life where like you run into someone that you were meant to have a conversation with.
Totally.
And you were that for him. How
totally.
cool
Yeah.
is that?
So I'm like,
okay, I take it back.
And
I'll start talking to people on planes.
Yeah. And I mean, it doesn't mean that they have to like, and I don't expect anybody to convert to my religion whatsoever. But if I can plant a seed just to like help people.
Well, it sounds like it was not even just a religious conversation, but a spiritual one.
Totally.
And that's what
100%. Yeah.
That's so great. I love it. Well, you've given me a lot of insight because we're not the same religion.
Right.
Because I'm really no religion. And I used to be a religion, but I feel like you've even like, what I love about our friendship is that usually in Utah, like at least with me growing up, like it was kind of hard to be friends with people who weren't in your religion. Like it was just unheard of because we're in Utah. But as we're adults and we evolve, like I feel like you and like some of the other people here at the salon who are Mormon, like there's no judgment against me or you guys that like we're different religions because like we're just good people at the end of the day.
Totally.
And like and I love that we've been able to have like open dialogue about religion and spiritual things and like just listen to each other and not judge, you know. I think it's great. And you've helped me like work through some of my past trauma.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
no,
so
for
nice.
real. Like it was great. So I feel like I've been in therapy for 2 months with this topic just because. Yeah. But it's helped me have like a different view of it, which is great.
Oh,
so
that's awesome.
Yeah. Krista is God. Okay. I'm just kidding. But okay, no, that's a good highlight though, that you've just had a good time in life lately.
Yeah, that's been
great.
Good.
That's great. Okay. Do you want to explain? This was actually Krista's idea, this topic. So I want you to explain your thought. And I love this idea.
Yes. Okay. So girls are trending right now. So if I'm a girl's girl, I consider myself a girl's girl.
Yes.
1000%. And I feel like you're a girl's girl as well.
I hope so.
Yeah, I really do. I think so. So we're talking just basically about what is a girl's girl and what does that like look like? Because I feel like there's like this toxic kind of
there is a trend on TikTok where they're like, if someone says they're a girl's girl, they're a girl's girl, they're not, and that means they're a toxic person. So we want to touch on that too.
Yeah, and then but like I also want to know like what do you feel like maybe we could be like what traits do we see in each other that's a girl's girl, and then what traits do we think that we have individually that makes us a girl's girl.
I love that.
So I found the meaning of me over here, like with all the notes.
Urban Dictionary.
Do you remember the last podcast?
Hello? Are you home?
English, Krista. The last podcast I did with you, it was, what did we thought? It was like conspiracy theories or something.
Was it the Chick-fil-A podcast?
No, it was the one before that when we were out there before this even got done.
What even was it?
I think it was like, all I know is I brought notes about conspiracy theories.
I'm going to look it up right now because I was looking at the other day because we did like a social media one, which was awesome. And then I think we did do a conspiracy theories.
Or maybe it was social media.
Or we turned it into that.
Oh, because remember I was like, do you think social media is run by the government?
Yes. Okay. We did a social media deep dive and we started talking about that. But then we said we should do another one where we do deep dive and we should still do a conspiracy theories.
Yes. Okay. Anyway, sorry. So where I was going with that is that I'm the kind that I'll take notes and I'll bring notes to stuff like this.
I love it.
So anyways, okay. So I looked up what does it mean to be a girl's girl? And it says, as the name suggests, a girl's girl is, well, for the girls. She enjoys being around other women, supporting them, learning from them, and feels genuine joy when the women around her succeed.
I love that. Especially in our industry, we need more of that.
Yes, for sure. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's start off with what type of traits we see in each other that makes us a girl's girl.
Do we do a certain amount or just like
maybe
general?
like 2 or 3? Okay,
perfect. Should we go back and forth or should we do it? Okay.
Yeah, I'll do yours first. So how I think Jessi is a girl's girl is because...
this is so awkward. I'm like, okay.
Just compliment each other.
What do you have to say about me?
I'm like, well...
You better say something good, bitch. You won't get paid today. You're fired.
Something that I admire about you is that you are the exact same on camera as you are off camera. You are so unbelievably genuine in who you are to your core.
Thank you.
It is like, I've never seen anything like it.
Really?
Truthfully, I don't think I've ever met somebody who is as genuine, that has the following, that has the wealth or like the rich, what am I trying? So like has all the money that you have, but like, and it doesn't like, you have a huge following on YouTube. You've done like 40 under 40. You have this incredible multi-million-dollar company and this business, and you travel literally around the country once a month, and you still can like crack a cold one with the homeless guy down the street. Like I seriously, it's, you do not think that you're above anybody.
Oh, absolutely not. And if I ever get to that point, please take me out back and shoot me, because I feel like that's the most unattractive quality when people get success.
Yeah.
Success, followers, money, whatever it may be. I feel like I've seen that so much with people, like it changes them, that I've tried really hard to maintain that.
Yeah.
And also I think having good people around you, like my family and friends and people who are just normal and like level-headed, because if I had all yes people around me, I could be that way. Right. Totally. But I also just feel like in my core, I'm not that person.
And that's the thing is like when this project that you've been working on, this big project, I didn't really hear this from anybody, but like actually my husband Blake was like, do you worry about her, you know, getting to this point where she's going to be too cool to hang out?
I'm like, you're out.
Yeah, I'm like, bye. I'm just going to get in the Kim Air jet and I'm going to just... see you later.
Cheesy jet.
Yeah. And I was like, no, not at all. Mm-hmm. And you really haven't changed one bit. Like,
I hope so. Well,
there is...
You never know.
Yeah, it could change.
I'm like, just wait. Just kidding. No.
But truthfully, like... You are so, like, do you remember when we were at Shania Twain last year? Yeah. And this girl stopped you in the middle. Well, it was like her boyfriend stopped you and he's like, my girlfriend's such a huge fan. Like, could she talk to you for a minute? And you sat and talked. I was sitting there. I was like, Kate, can we go? I'm like, I'm trying to get a Coke and a hot dog over here. And Jessi is like over here just chatting it up with this girl. But she was such a huge fan. You took pictures. Like, you make time and you make everybody feel like a somebody. Yeah. And you don't do it for fame or attention. You do it because you are a genuine good person in your core.
Thank you.
And that is something that from day one I've noticed about you.
Thank you. So that means a lot to me, because I think I try really hard to make sure I stay true to who I am. Yeah. Because, you know, life changes you. And like when you have different experiences, like I think something you have heard me say is like, I've lost some friends and I've been through some hard things with my business specifically. And I am genuinely a generous person. And I don't say that to be like building myself up. Like I genuinely love helping people, giving them gifts. Like that is my love language, opportunity. The human design I was telling you about says that about me.
Oh, okay.
So I'll have to read it to you. You have to do yours. We have to do a whole episode on it. Okay. Obsessed. But anyway, that's who I've always been. Like my mom said that I would take things from my house growing up and like give them to people at school. Like that's just how I've always been. But as time has gone on, that's happened where I've given people things and then I've kind of gotten burnt and then I've turned to be the villain just because of my platform, I think. Yeah. But it's been hard for me not to let that like jade me. Yeah. Like it's been hard to be like, okay, I still want to be this person who's giving and kind and loving and caring, but I need to have better boundaries, but I don't want to go to the extreme where like I take that away from myself.
Yeah. And that's hard to put a boundary on.
It is. Yeah. And so I'm happy to hear that you feel that way, because I feel like it's been really hard to like maintain who I am, but also like build boundaries as I evolve. Totally. You know what I mean? Yeah. And not that I always just need to give things, but like, that just makes me happy to hear, because I feel like that's something I strive for. So thank you so much. Yeah. I would say the biggest thing I've noticed about Krista, because it's who she is, and also we've talked about it a lot, is just her loyalty. Yeah. Such a like underrated trait. Like, of course we always say like, oh, I want friends that are loyal. I want a partner that's loyal. But Krista's the person that like, you know what you are? I'm going to read you. Have you heard? I'm scared. No, this is a good thing. And I just put it together as I was talking that this is our friendship song.
Oh, okay. Don't make me cry today. I'm about to start my period. I'm not going to be able to handle this.
Have you heard Kelsey Ballerini? I'm going to get goosebumps because it's like so true. Have you heard Kelsey Ballerini's song, If You Go Down, I'm Going Down Too? Yes. This is literally Krista to a T. So basically
Kelsey Ballerini is our thing.
No, it is. We're going to go see her soon. Oh, that should have been our highlight, but we can talk about it after. Yeah. But basically it's like, because dirt on you is dirt on me. We both know our hands ain't clean. If it all blows up and we end up on the news, if you go down, I'm going down too.
Literally me.
But basically, not that like I'm doing bad things and Krista's conspiring with me, but just like if something bad happens to me or someone is mean to me or vice versa, like I just know Krista's like, well, we're done with them, you know? And not that I expect that. Like it's just who she is. Like she's like, if someone's mean to my friend, then I don't like them. If someone's mean to my kid, my husband, I don't like them. Like in such an endearing, good way. Like I feel like there's so many people, and I'm kind of like this, and I want to get better just from like seeing you. Like I feel like it's been a goal of mine now that like, let's say someone does something bad to me. There's a lot of people that, this is a general statement, I'm not even thinking of anything specific, but like there's so many people be like, well, they didn't do anything to me and I don't want to rock the boat. Yeah. And I'm that person too. Like if something bad happens, I'm like, oh, well, I don't want to be like, I'm rude. I'm a people pleaser.
People pleaser.
Yes,
people pleaser.
Yes.
Yeah, and I am not.
You're not. And I love that about you. And I feel like especially in friendships, that's so underrated because Taylor Swift, I keep just quoting people, but Taylor Swift said in one of her songs, a friend to all is a friend to none.
Yes.
And when you sent me that video, I think I said that
philosophy.
Yeah. And I've always like not understood that. Cause I'm like, why can't I be friends with everyone? But like, as I get older, I'm like, no, that makes sense. Like there's a reason you connect with some people and not others. And I don't know. I think that that's such a good quality that you have is just like the strong loyalty, because I told you this, that when I hired you, you know, I hire a lot of friends, and most of the time it doesn't end well just because mixing business and friends is hard.
It's hard.
But Jordan, he's very like,
he gets a good read on people.
He does. He's good at that. And it's annoying because he's always right. But like on his human design, so everyone has like a specific sense, like, you know, your 5 senses.
Yeah.
They'll say which one's your strength. And his was his nose because he sniffs people out.
Shut
and
up.
that's Jordan.
1000% that's him.
But when I hired you, I was like, I'm so nervous. And we talked about this a lot. Like,
we were
I don't want
open.
this to affect our friendship. And it's going to be sad if anything happens. But he was like, honestly, like out of all the people you've hired, like, I don't think you ever have to worry about her. And I was like, well, if Jordan said it's true, so thank God.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
But it's true.
I've always been a friend that is fiercely loyal. And that's been like since I was little, but it's because at a very young age, it was like, I come from a line of fiercely loyal women.
Okay.
My mom, my grandparents, my ancestors, like we all rally together and we are like,
do you think it has something to do too with like your mom being a single mom? Like you've been around powerful women as well.
Totally. Yeah. Like I come from such incredible, like my family history is just incredible. Like all my ancestors, all of the women in my family a lot of them were single moms, and they like just were like, okay, well, like I'm going to work. I'm going to like do the damn thing, you know? And so and my family's also very like fiery. I come from a line of like very,
you're a redhead,
fiery women. Into it. Yeah. And you know, and so, but I appreciate that because I have had a lot of friendships where, you know, I haven't felt super confident in my friendships because like, and not now necessarily, but the last few years, and I've had friendships with women that I'm like, I've been so trying to be such a good friend to them, and they turn around and they gossip about me, or they say certain things about me, or I can
your
just
high school
tell.
Experience you told me about.
Yes,
like you've had a lot of rough.
Yeah. Like, so I have made it a personal goal that I never like want to make people who I'm in like close relations with, like friendships, ever feel insecure about our friendship. You will never have to worry about me talking behind your back. You will never have to worry about me letting other people talk about you.
This is because
you will never have to worry about that, because I am the type of person that if you are my friend, I will die for you on the stake. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like my close friends, I call this like, so I have like an extended circle where it's like the girls I see at work, you know, like just the people that I see often that I do love and care about. But I don't hang out with them outside of it. And then I have like my little inner circle where it's like slightly closer, but I see them like once a month. We go out for dinner dates and I chat with them because
life is
like
busy.
Weekly. And then I have my inner circle.
The elite.
The elite circle. That's literally what it is. And those are the friends that, and I would never gossip about any of my other friends either, but like, those are the friends that I feel 100% confident in my relationship with them. And I know that if I pick up the phone and I say, Jess, guess who we don't like today? It's all right. We don't like them.
Who are we burying in the back?
Yes. You know, and I completely reciprocate those feelings. And like, my main goal is just to always have with my really inner circle people, you never have to worry about not having a friend in me. Like, to quote Toy Story, I'm like,
so many quotes in this episode.
But truthfully, like I'm fiercely loyal to my friends because I love my friends.
But you know what else you are? You're so good to them and so loyal, but you're also honest.
Yes.
And that's what I think is so great about you. The reason you don't gossip is because you will say it to their face if you have something to say to them. Like how Kate was like, Krista's the full-on bully, but it's because you'll be honest. Like,
she's like, do you like my outfit today? I'm like, no,
sorry.
I really don't.
But how much more refreshing is that than like, she walks out of the room and you're like, ew, Kate looks awful today. That is gossip catty. Whereas you say it in a joking way to their face. And like, she asked your opinion. You're not gonna lie, but like in such a good way. I don't mean for that to sound bad. No, like you're honest with people, but I think that's what friendship's about. I think going back to like yes people, if you have just yes people around you, you're never going to know what they really think. But I think I love that you're honest and like, maybe that wasn't the best decision, but like, I'll support you anyway. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Love that. That's great.
Okay. So the second thing, that I feel like the trait that you have that's a girl's girl is I have this same trait and I love it. We can shop till we drop. Like there is no mall in the world that we could not go to and not find something. We almost changed our flight
back home from Orlando to like be 6 hours later just so we could go to the mall. No one else wanted to.
And we were literally like, I'm not joking when I tell you we had like everything pulled up. Yeah. Everything was ready to go. And then like, it was just me and Jess that like, we still could have done it and we sort of had fun, but we were kind of like, well, okay, like, I guess not. Everyone was giving us a hard time.
I know. Well, then Randy made me feel judged. Yeah. Like, I thought he was down. And so I was like, oh, this will be fun. And then when he's like, I'm not doing that, I'm like, oh, are we dumb?
Like, yeah, like, should we not
We'd have to have our big suitcases. It would have been hard. But we're going back.
Yes, we're going back.
So we'll make it work. But I agree. We could shop till we drop.
We could go to the DI and spend hours and just find gems.
That would be fun. We should do a YouTube video on that.
That would be so fun. And dress each other.
Yes.
Like, pick out an outfit for each other.
That's a good idea.
That's a really good idea.
I love that. No, we could. And we could also justify purchases to each other, which is probably bad, but like you want these like one sunglasses and I'm like, do it, even though it's probably not the best idea, but like totally, like you'll get how many uses out of it. They're basically free. Like we're good at that.
Yeah. So I feel like shopping is just like a major one, and I'll tie another one into this, but you and me are the same here too. Is like, if I'm like, okay, how do we make this sound like I'm not spending this? Blake cannot watch.
Blake, turn it off.
Yeah.
Do you think he would listen? Probably not.
I don't really care. He probably knows. I'm like the type of person that I'm like, okay, how do I make this as vague as possible so my husband doesn't need to know
the
exactly like where we're going?
That's a girl thing.
Yeah, but I feel like that's a girl thing.
I know.
Because there's some girls that are like, no,
I'll
like
help you. I'm like, I'll give you a fake receipt. Like, we'll make this work.
Literally, like, that kind of comes down to like loyalty too, I think. But like we shop and then like we will
justify,
trick the like maneuver the system a little bit,
manipulate men.
Yeah,
our specialty.
Pete, we're gonna get comments, but like, you guys are awful.
You guys are actually the worst. Let me turn it off.
But like, again, that's probably generational because my grandma used to go shopping.
Same.
And she would hide her clothes in the trunk from my grandpa.
I have been seeing these TikToks of like, oh, I took my daughter shopping and then she did a fashion show for her dad. And I'm like, when I was growing up, we were hiding grocery or shopping bags.
Yes.
My dad couldn't know we got new clothes.
Yes.
Like, what is that?
Yes.
I'm like, our generation's way better. Back then we had to hide that stuff.
Like, yes, like a top secret mission, you know? Not in my case because my dad's dead, but you know,
at least you can joke about it.
But like now, you know, I'm like shuffling like new shoes and Blake's like, I know you have new shoes. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
The worst is when packages show up.
Yeah. Like, I've learned not to do online stuff because of that.
I deliver it here now.
Oh, genius.
You should just do that.
I've done it to my mom's house a few times.
Yeah. Just do it here. You're always here at the school. You know?
It's perfect.
It's the perfect like getaway for that.
Yeah.
Okay. I have one more deep one and then one more fun one.
Okay.
So another deep one I have about Krista is that she is truly a hype girl.
Oh.
So like, for example, the last 8 weeks of my life, I keep being so vague, you guys will know what's happening soon. I've been extremely busy and I feel like, you know, we usually do hair on Wednesdays, but like there was like a whole month during that time where like we didn't do it at all. And I felt like I was truly out of touch with like a lot of people in my real life because I was doing this project I was focusing on. So like, we would always usually see each other once or twice a week. And I felt like I didn't even have time to text people back. Like I was just in such like a weird state, but I love that like, even if like I would feel guilty about that, I'd come in and I'd see you and you were like, what's going on? What's happening? And just genuinely excited for me instead of like, oh, I haven't heard from you in a week, where some friends are like that, you know?
Yeah.
And even though you were also like during this last few months, I feel like you've had a bunch of trials and like you've been through hard things.
Yeah.
And you're the first person to like ask how my day's going. And then we start talking and then I'm like, wait, no, you, like it needs to come back to you because you're just genuinely so excited for other people's opportunities. And I think you're the type of person that's like, oh, if you're successful, I'm successful. We can all be successful together.
There's enough room for everybody.
Exactly. And so I feel like it's so comforting to have a friend that like you just know is always going to like be in your corner and be excited for you, even when they're going through hard things. Like I know some people that when they go through hard things, they just shut down and they push everyone away. And you've gone through enough hard things in your whole life where you could have done that. But I feel like you just still I'm like, punch the microphone. You still show up and you're still genuinely like excited about life.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool.
Well,
so
thank you.
That's a great quality to have. And then I'll just do my fun one. I feel like you're just down for anything.
Oh,
like,
I'm down for anything.
I need a friend like that. And I think every girl does because I'm very like that. Like I'm chaotic. I'm like last minute, let's go on a trip. Let's do this. And in my life and my business, that stuff happens a lot. So like we have like the CMT awards coming up that we're going to go to. And it was like a very last minute thing, but I'm like, do you want to go? I have tickets. And you're like, hell yeah. Like, not that it always works out obviously, but like someone who's just down for an adventure, a good time.
I'll go into debt. I don't care.
Literally. I'm like, yeah, do it. No, but just like, I just know that like you're that friend. Whereas like most friends are like, oh, I don't know. I have to think about it, which is fine too. But like, it's just fun to have someone who like is down for an adventure at all times.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here for it. I'm a yes girl.
Yes.
I'm not a no girl unless it's like really detrimental.
For sure.
But like I'm a yes girl.
You have boundaries.
Yeah, I have some boundaries, okay? But I'm mostly like it's like my friends text me and I'm still awake at 9 o'clock at night and they're like, "Okay, I could use a Dutch Bros drink and like go to Vegas tonight." I'm like, "I'm here."
Yeah.
Bye, Blake.
Kids make it a little harder, but we make it work still.
But we make it work. So I love, and I feel like that's so you too, because I feel the same way where I'm like I was kind of the one that was like, Jess, let's really look into switching our flights. And you're like, okay, let's do it.
Let's do it. Yeah. How are we going to tell our husbands our flights got canceled and this happened to us? Like,
I'm like, our flight got delayed.
Whoops. I'm like, no, Jordan's going to be on that Delta app. He knows, he sees through it. But it's just fun because I feel like you just need a friend like that. Totally. Who's like down for anything. So
yeah. And I think like just like to touch on like the friendship that you and I have, I think that our friendship is so cool and so unique because I feel like, and we've said this in previous conversations and even on the podcast, I have such a different perspective. I think because I've owned a business and because I've been on that side. And then I also like, I have kids. I'm in the same stage of life as you. And so I think that makes our friendship really easy because it's like, you have to do things for the business or you have to give me constructive criticism or you have to like put the boss hat on and like, and I'm like, girl, I get it.
Yep.
You know? And so I think that's something that's been really nice that at least on me, cause I'm like, I don't feel pressure because I know how you're feeling. So I feel like I'm like, Jess is going to just, figure it out. And there's been so many times like trials like, really recently, like with turnover and just other things. I'm like, I'm so glad it's you and not me.
No, really.
I do not miss
that. But the cool thing is you can give me advice that's now like removed. Cause when you're in it, it's so much harder to see it clear. But now you're like, oh, this is how I dealt with it, but I'm not as like attached anymore because I don't do it daily. And I love that. I love that. Like, I know that, a lot of times when you are a boss, like, your employees don't get it because they've never owned a business, which I don't expect, but you have, which is so unique. Yeah. So it's cool how you can have that like experience to like lean on. It's really nice.
Totally.
Yeah.
Anyways. Okay. We can go back to the girls.
The girls.
So I wanted to like, okay, so what have you seen on TikTok that's been like girls?
So I've seen like 4 or 5 videos recently that's like, if a girl tells you she's a girl's girl, she shouldn't have to say it. So she's like covering up for something. So it really means she's probably a toxic friend. And there's so many people like, you're so right. Like if they're having to overcompensate, that means they're not. But I feel like that could be the case sometimes. Like maybe people are using that as a cover. But I feel like a girl's girl, just genuinely to its core, what it means is what we're talking about. Like we're not talking about like the girls that say they are and they're not. We're talking genuine, real, like girlhood, like this weekend when we were in Orlando, we were all putting pastel hair in for our class. So we had like tape-ins and we were listening to Taylor Swift and eating Cheesecake Factory. I was like, this is girlhood. Like
it totally
it's like having a big sleepover in an Airbnb and it was so fun. So like those are the things I'm talking about is just like genuine girlhood.
Yes. Yeah. So, okay. So going off of girlhood, what do you feel like is a core memory for you growing up?
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Girlhood and just being a girl's girl.
It's so different now.
Like Lizzie McGuire?
Yes. Like watching the Disney Channel and like practicing the different hairdos she would do and stuff like that. But it's so sad because I feel like our childhoods are so different than what our kids are going to have. Yeah. But like I remember having sleepovers and like prank calling our crushes.
Oh my gosh. Did you ever do prankdial.com?
Yes.
Print out. They would it would call people for you and they'd be like, hello.
It would be a different voice.
This is Stefan. What is going on? You know?
And then you'd get like, oh my gosh. Or like, me and some of my friends, we would like doorbell ditch or like leave cupcakes and then run away. Like just like stuff that's like silly. Yeah. I feel like there is no better feeling, I think. And this actually has led me into adulthood because I actually have these moments all the time. Like when we're on trips and stuff, like you're laughing so hard, like your abs hurt and you're just genuinely like, this is like, it's so
before
fun.
Life got complicated.
Yes. Because there was no stress. Like even if you're in high school and like the boy doesn't like me back, like that's not real life stress. In the moment it feels like it, but now it's different. And now when you have those moments, it's like so much better because you're like, this is like a relief from my stress, But yeah, what about you?
So Jenna, my ex-business partner, and she's still one of my very best friends in the whole world.
She works at the school too.
Yeah, so she's incredible. All the time. Shout out to Jenna, love you. So we went to the same junior high together. Yeah. And so it's really fun to reminisce with her because we weren't really friends. We ran around the same friend group, so we weren't actually like really close. No, not until after she graduated from hair school. Like I was already basically like I had Thomas by then. And so we didn't start getting close to like the last like maybe like 5-ish years.
Yes.
But anyways, but she still obviously went to the same junior high as me. We ran around in the same friend group. So we reminisce all the time junior high dances.
I love that.
Oh my gosh. Junior high dances at Mapleton Junior High. There's nothing that can compare.
Junior High.
No, and if you're a Mapleton kid and you like know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about.
So what do you mean? Like explain it.
So we'd all like go over to some girl's house and we'd all get ready for the Sweethearts dance together. And I would be like curling everybody's hair, you know, because I was like the pre like hairstylist era, you know.
Every hairstylist has that. So like I would do everyone's hair.
I totally would. And I would like curl everyone's hair and we'd all get ready and we would do like the Converse with the zebra dresses and the little, you know what I mean? Like,
that
and the really tight curls that weren't brushed out and the really heavy makeup. Yes, the straight bangs.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. And yes, and it's like all that stuff. And we would go to the dances and like you dance like with your arms like up around the guy's neck and he just have them like right on your rib cage and you're just like waddling
and then you like
back
look
and
at your
forth.
friends and they're like laughing at
and
you.
They're like pointing and laughing. Or like some of the girls, if you didn't want to get asked on a slow dance, you'd run to the bathroom as soon as a slow dance would call. Like it's just so nostalgic. And what's so freaking funny, we were literally the way that, I don't know how Jenna and I did not get arrested for this, but so one night, Jenna's her house is like across the street from Mapleton Junior High. Okay. She used to just like walk across the street every day to school. And one time, this was actually like when we still owned Wild Fringe, and Nicole was with us this one night. She was in the back seat, and then it was me and Jenna, and we were driving back to her mom's house to get Will, her son. And it was like later at night.
Yeah.
And we're driving by the junior high and there was a junior high dance that had just gotten out.
No.
The way Jenna and I ripped into that parking lot of the junior high.
Did you crash the dance?
No, we didn't. We tried, but the dance was over. And
Nicole, we're the chaperones.
You should have heard Nicole in the back seat. She was like, "You guys, this is illegal. Like we literally are going to go to jail for this. This makes us look so creepy."
Like pedophiles.
No, actually, she's like, we're trying to like learn.
Watching the kids, or what were you doing?
We're just like, what does everyone wear? Like, we just wanted to be a part of it.
To them?
We just had like FOMO. No, we just like, we did like, you know, the carpool lane where like the parents drop off and then like you just drive through.
Just slowly in line.
We literally went through that line. Like,
you're like, is Katie here? Yeah. Oh, no, okay, bye.
No, like as if we had any idea who anybody was. But it was just so
weird
nostalgic.
To look at kids like that, though, and be like, they look like babies.
Yes.
Do we look like that?
I know, especially
they look
the boys.
So young now. Yes.
Yeah.
Aww,
yeah,
that's funny.
I know. So we like went through the whole carpool lane, and I was just like, we were just the nostalgia was just like,
well, it was your
beaming.
School.
Yeah, so it was our school.
Even better.
Yeah, and Nicole in the back the whole time, like. She like went to school like a completely different city than us, and she's like, "You guys, we are going to get arrested. We need to get out of here. We look like we're trying to pick up some freaking kids and kidnap them." And like, anyways, it was.
But you're
so
all young
funny.
girls. It would be different if you were like old men.
No, I know. Yeah,
you know?
And she was funny. Like, we were all just like laughing, and Jenna and I joke about it all the time. Yeah. We're like, let's go get a Dutch Bros and run through the junior high school.
Let's just go scope it out.
Yeah.
No big deal. That's such a good core memory of like growing up. I love that. That's good. I also think it's really important to have at least one friend that you carry into adulthood that knew you back then.
Yes.
Whether you were close or not. Cause then like they've seen you evolve. They know so much about your childhood.
Yeah.
Like I have a friend, Brecca, who comes in and I do her hair every few months. And like, it's like, we don't see each other on a daily basis, but like we just pick back up and we kind of like turn into like who we were at 18.
Yes.
You know, it's like so fun to have that.
Yeah,
I love
fun.
it. You know, I never went to a school dance ever.
Not even high school dance?
Nope. Never.
Well, you didn't even graduate high school.
I know. I got my GED. It's fine. But yeah, I never went. So like hearing that, I'm like, I wish I would have done that.
No, it was so fun.
It's so fun.
Yeah. High school kind of ruined me. I didn't like high school, but I love junior high.
Oh yeah. Junior high is like before it gets bad, you know, like, ugh. But nowadays, like my stepdaughter's in like the first year of junior high.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, there's like people who like smoke weed in the bathroom. And I'm like, I didn't even know what that was. So I was probably 17. Yeah. Like I'm sheltered, but like, I just feel like the world is like scary now. But,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
anyway.
I don't know. It's hard. And like girls are like getting boob jobs in high school too.
No, they're not.
Like, hello?
Who?
I literally just saw it on TikTok.
No.
She's like, I'm just in 12th grade, but I'm just going to get my boobs done.
No.
I have little A cups. And I'm like,
what parent is allowing that? I'm sorry.
like,
absolutely not.
I mean, she might have been 18 because she was like a senior in high school.
I don't care.
No, I know, but
First
I'm
of
like,
all,
okay, girl.
If she's going to have kids, wait till you're done. Because you're going to get them redone. Yeah. Trust me.
Yeah.
And B, you're like, your brain's not even fully developed yet. You don't even know what you want or like. No.
I know, girl. Trust me, I get it. I was like, okay, Miss Marianne, you go ahead.
You go ahead and get that boob job. I was talking to my client earlier today about this, that like kids at that age don't go through awkward phases anymore. Like we had like the braces and the glittery eyeshadow and the acne. And now they have access to like TikTok and Instagram for makeup tutorials, and they have Dyson Airwraps and like
extensions.
Yes, exactly. They don't go through
eyebrows.
it. Yeah.
I know.
But it's like character building. I think
okay,
you need
so
that.
do you think that girlhood is starting to like diminish a little bit. Like
I think it's turning into something else. I think it's not as innocent.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it's as like, oh, we're gonna sit around and paint each other's toenails and like prank call boys. I think now it's like we're gonna post TikTok dances and do get ready with me's together. Yeah. You know, like I mean, that's the world we live in now, and I think it's a little sad.
Yeah, I think so too.
But also, like our generation, like our parents probably thought the same thing about us. Like possibly they didn't have DVD players, and we did, and they were probably like, "Whoa," you know, like things like true. That. Yeah. But I think just like I'm biased because I was a '90s kid, but I think the '90s and like the Y2K like was the best childhood. Like it was so iconic for like celebrity culture, everything we had, like the style, the fashion, like it's, I loved all of it.
And because it was still so innovative, but it was also still so innocent. It was before social media and all the comparing and all the crap that we have now came out. And so there was an innocence about it, but there was also so much like, just like this, like you said,
iconic. Like it's just an iconic time in the world. Yeah,
I know.
But yeah, it'll be interesting like when our daughters are like teenagers to see like what it's like, because think about social media in general. Like Instagram didn't come around till like 2010. That was only 14 years ago, which is not that long. Crazy. And look how far it's come in another 10 years ish when our kids are like? What is it going to be? Yeah, it's crazy.
So, okay. So then I don't know how long you want these.
Oh, however long.
So, a question now, since we both have daughters, how are we planning to raise girls?
That's
and
a good
how
question.
Are we planning to keep that girlhood core in them? So we can think about it for a minute.
That is a spicy question.
So first question we can answer. How are we planning on raising girls? And how are we planning on keeping that girl core, like that girlhood core in them?
I think the first one I can think of is not letting my daughter ever hear me gossiping or like putting another woman down. And like teaching her that as she gets older, if another girl is talking bad about her or is mean to her, because it will happen, that we don't do that. Like she must, you know, be going through something and she's probably sad inside and she's taking it out on you, and just kind of teaching those lessons. But like we support other girls, and if you're upset with someone, you talk to them, you don't talk about them. And just maybe like setting by example in that way. And also I think about, I don't know if your mom had this, but I have like, my mom had like a few close friends growing up that like I thought were my aunts. Yeah. Because like they were my mom's best friends, and I grew up just like calling them that or thinking that. And I think that that's cool to show, like us having kids at the same age, like we're doing things with them. And like, I love that my kids will know who my friends are, but like showing them a supportive group of women around me. Totally. And not just my mom, my sisters, but like who I surround myself with. I think that's important too, to see that like I have strong female friendships. Like I remember my mom would do bunko nights with her friends, and I thought it was so glamorous. Like, all the girls are getting together, you know, and like showing that I think is good too. Yeah. What do you think?
I think something that I'm going to really like hone in on is, and I think this kind of goes back to, I don't know if it comes back to like loyalty, but just being supportive of other women. Yes. I think as a little kid, like my kids do this. Thomas gets a toy and Ivory doesn't get the toy. She freaks. Like she's like, just like jealousy. And I think that that's literally just embedded in us as human beings. That you want what other people have, and you want to make sure that you are feeling like, I think it's something that as us, like just being human beings, part of it would, like we were set on this earth to help overcome that. And so I think that exactly. And to be humble, like to be able to be willing to share your success and be willing to like allow other people to have success and be happy for them, but not just to like pretend, be genuinely happy for them. Yes. So like with Ivory, for example, we've tried a few things, like with Thomas, I on purpose, and people might be like, you're so mean, but like on purpose, every other time we go to the grocery store, I'll get one kid something and not the other one. Really? Yes. And they freak out. So that they know. But I'm like, it's okay for people to have things that you don't have.
And do you teach, like you say that to them?
I try and like, I definitely try and like communicate to them.
Is it a reward? Like, is it like Thomas was better than you this week? And so
no, it's more just like you. I basically am like, I take Thomas. I usually won't take Ivory with me because I feel like that's kind of mean. Like you show it in front of them and you're like, Thomas gets a toy and you got to sit here in the toy aisle and don't play with anything.
Like, how do you do that?
No, but like I'll take Thomas on like a little.
Okay, like, and then he comes home with something.
Yes, and Ivory doesn't have something, and she'll get upset. And I sit her down, and I'm like, baby, listen to me. There's going to be times in your life where people have things that you don't have and that you really want. Yeah. But you need to understand that even though you don't have those things, it's important to be happy for other people.
Especially your sibling.
Yes, exactly. And I just really try to create that, like, there really isn't competition between like them as siblings. So then when they grow up, there's not going to be competition between their friends, because their friends are going to have things that they don't, and they're going to have things that their friends don't. And they need to deal and know how to deal with people who are jealous of them. I think they're a little young for that, but right now I'm just trying to teach.
Young.
Yeah. I'm just trying to teach the fundamentals right now of like, it's okay for people to have things that you don't have. And it's even more important that you're genuinely happy for them and that you like can give other people recognition without always expecting it of yourself.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I agree with that. That's the hardest thing about having young kids is like those lessons are so like easily ingrained at that age that you need to do it now, even though they might be young, because that's what they think back to, you know?
Well, and it's like, I've also heard, you know, the first 10 years of a person's life is like the most important because you lay down all the fundamentals of who they're going to be. Well,
their brains at that point where they're learning and like, they'll never have that again. Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
And so
is she more jealous than Thomas? Like, does she have
They're both the same. They're both freaking jealous kids. I think they're just kids. And they're like, if he wants a lollipop, then I want a lollipop.
It has to be fair.
Yeah. And
life's not always fair.
I do give my kids like equal things, like especially like holidays and then like obviously birthdays. But also birthdays have been cool too because I've been taking like, I'll take Thomas out to buy a birthday gift for Ivory.
Yes.
And he's been like, well, I want a toy. And I'm like, nope, this is for Ivory. Yes. This is her birthday. You need to allow yourself to be able to celebrate other people.
Yes.
And birthdays are a great excuse for that.
Yes.
And so,
Jagger didn't get that for a while. Like when Jovi would get like her birthday stuff, he was like, wait, what? But then I let him like give her the presents and he would just help. Yes. And I'm like, that's how you can help. But
yes, totally.
It's hard because then they're like, well, she's like, as a kid, you don't get that. Why is she getting presents and I'm not, you know?
Yeah.
So that's, I like that you're doing that. That's really great.
So girlhood core.
Yes.
So how are you going to keep girlhood core like in Peyton and in Jovi? So this is kind of different because this is like, I'm not talking like how are you going to raise them to like know right from wrong, but it's like, how are you going to keep that like the Lizzie McGuire heart in them almost? Do you know what I mean?
I'm so glad I have Peyton because I feel like I've had good practice with this. Mm-hmm. Like last weekend, for example, Jordan was in Chicago selling. So I had the kids by myself for a week and Peyton came over for the weekend. Yeah. And normally we would obviously like want Jordan there, but it was still her weekend. And I was like, I'll take her. Like, that's great. And honestly, she's a lot of help. So it was awesome. But we went shopping, me and my mom and dad, and I gave her the choice. I was like, do you want to come with me or go to your grandparents with Jovi and Jagger? And she wanted to come with me. Fun. So we literally had a day. She had like a list on her phone of like, I need new shoes. I need a gold chain. I need yoga pants. Like she was very specific and it was so cute because we went from store to store and it was like, even though I'm the stepmom. So like I try to keep like I'm still an authority figure in her life and I still have to like set rules and lay down the law. But like, I also want to be like, I'm not her mom. I don't want to replace that. Yeah. So I want to be like the fun, like stepmom. I don't want to be the evil stepmom, you know? Totally. So, you know, we were trying things on and looking at sizes and colors and I didn't have my other kids. So it was like that one-on-one bonding. And I feel like with Peyton, I've tried really hard because she's like my bonus child to do that. Like we go get our nails done, we get pedicures and she loves the girly stuff or like I'll do her hair and makeup, you know, when she's with us. And so I think like with Jovi too, like just kind of like, those are things that are girly, right? Yeah, and not that like I'm trying to push things on them because Peyton's genuinely interested in those things, but like just making sure that like me and Jovi, like since Jagger and Jordan, like they go play golf together. I feel like that's like a great like boyhood, like bond, not trauma. Can you tell the day I have like trauma bonding? We've had trauma that's today. Us today. Bonding for them. I want to do those things with Jovi, whether it's like going to get our nails done or like I have the school and the salon. I can have her come in and get her hair washed and done. And like I did Peyton's hair the other day. We cut it and she loved it, you know? So I think just things like that where it's like taking the time to like lean into your child's interests, but like introduce them to the girlhood stuff, you know? Like Peyton really didn't ever get her nails done. And so when she's with me, she's always like, can we get our nails done? You know? So like, I just love stuff like that. Yeah. So what about you?
I kind of like say the last thing you said is I'm thinking like just exposure to things that brought me a lot of joy in my childhood. Like I was super big into like pink when I was little. Like my favorite color was pink. And so I buy Ivory like all this pink stuff and I'm like showing her like how fun the color pink is and how cute it is. And like, I'm a big shopper. We've addressed that here. And so like, I'm like, Junie, let's go buy you some clothes. And we go to Cotton on Kids and I have her pick out like a dress and like just that. And I think honestly,
does she dress up? Is she in that phase yet?
She's not. Yeah. She likes her mermaid dresses.
That picture. Yeah. I'll put that on the YouTube video. It was so cute.
So sweet for her birthday. She had a birthday recently.
The wig.
This wig. She was Ariel for her birthday.
She was just like you with the red hair.
Yes. Right. But I think that like, I just feel like the best way, in my opinion, that you can keep the core of like girlhood in your daughters is by spending one-on-one time with them, showing them the things that you love, because there's a lot of things that like my grandma would do with me. My grandma was really into, we always joke that she had a champagne taste with a whiskey budget.
Yes.
I said that to you on the plane. Yeah, that's where I got it from, was my grandma, is because she like had these like glitz and glam, and we would go through her closet together for hours. Aww. And like we'd get magazines and we would create like vision boards together, and like how she would want to decorate her dream home and how I would want to decorate my dream home. And like, I think that my grandma especially, and I'm a lot like my grandma, she encouraged me to daydream. She encouraged me to like, just if you can dream it, you can do it. And even if it doesn't always happen, still dream about it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And like, and so I feel like with
maybe
Ivory,
that's why you're a little Delulu now. Like, but same with me. Like, if you're raised to like always just be supportive in like your creativeness, I feel like that raises a woman who thinks she can do anything. And I think that's an important lesson to teach her.
Totally. Yeah. And that's why I'm like introducing Ivory to all the things that I loved as a little girl, but also understanding that the world's different. She's going to like different things, and that's fine. Yeah. But also just like doing the magazine thing with her, like stuff that's been passed down generationally to me. Like
trying on your mom's high heels and lip gloss and like,
like makeup was a huge thing. Like I think that's
my
a core
mom
memory
was
with girls.
babysitting. Okay, keep in mind, Jovi's 1, right? Like it's a little early.
She did not put makeup on her.
She did. The other day, literally, so I made a joke to my mom. Well, Jordan made a joke to me because Jovi's like a little rough. Like, and if you know me, I'm a girly girl. So I like cannot wait for Jovi to wear princess dresses.
Watch Jovi be a total tomboy.
She will. Because Jordan said the other day, he's like, she reminds me of a truck driver. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, she's rough. And she is. Like, she'll just like sit there and be like, rah! And like pull your hair and slap you. Like she's rough. And so he's like, so funny. You're not going to get a girly girl. And so we were joking, and I told my mom that, and she babysat the kids overnight the other night. And she's like, well, Jovi asked me to put makeup on her. And I'm like, what? She's 1. She goes, well, she like saw it, the mascara, and like handed it to me like she wanted it. So my mom put mascara on Jovi, and I was like, but she didn't take a picture or anything, but I'm like dead. I'm like, oh, did she ask you?
That's so funny.
But it was cute. Like that's like, if she was a little older, maybe 3 or 4, that would be a core memory. It's like my grandma put makeup on me. So like, I thought it was hilarious.
Giving your kids the opportunity to have those core memories with their grandparents aunts are so important too.
Jagger's more in love with his grandparents than he'll ever be with me. So
same. My kids like throw a fit when I come and pick them up. But I think like, I remember the first time I got like invited to like my mom going out to lunch with my grandma and my aunt.
Cute.
And I got to go, and I was just like, oh my gosh,
I'm
like
an adult.
I mean, the way that I strutted my stuff down into that little lunch restaurant was, I mean, absolutely
cute. Like you probably got ready and like,
it was like,
I love that.
And I just strutted my little stuff in there, and I was like, I'm so big. And I was like maybe 10.
I love that, though.
But it was
core
so
memory.
Fun.
Like those are the things that develop honestly who you are growing up. Like there are like a few memories you'll have that will always stand out. That's really cool. I love that.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. We need to, I wish I had like a girl Ivory's age, because like Jagger and Ivory are the same age, but like Jovi's a little younger. It's like
give her like 2 to 3 more years.
Yeah, because they'll be just a couple years apart. It's fine. But like just taking them to go get their nails done, or like Disneyland, how they do the bippity boppity boutique, and like they do the hair glitter. Like that will be so fun when they're a little older.
We have to.
Yeah, that'll be fun. No, I love it. Was that all on the list?
Yeah, that's the kind. I mean, we've been. It's been
almost an hour. That went by so fast. I'm shocked. That was a good topic. I feel like I could talk about that for hours.
Right?
If you guys listened or watched this, I want you guys to like, I'm sure I'll do like a TikTok or a reel or a post about this episode. Like comment below and tell us like what your girlhood memory is.
Yes. Like what is like a core girlhood memory?
Yeah. Maybe I'll do a question box too. And then when this comes out, we can share like people's stuff. Cause I think that is like iconic. Like actually, it just kind of reminded me real quick. When Demi and Layla got their boobs done recently, I made them like little gift baskets, and I found this book at Target. I got each of them, and it was like One in a Millennial is what it was called. And it was all the stuff that us as millennials grew up with that were iconic. And I was like reading through, I was like, I want this book, because it talked about like all the like the pop culture of that time and like all this like girlhood stuff. I was like, this is so cute. But I think that girlhood's just such a special thing, and I think now as an adult I appreciate it even more because you know, you're married, you have kids, that's obviously always going to be our priority, but you need that girl time to escape from that stuff. Like no matter like how close you are with your husband, like they're just
need your woman friends. And have you heard that TikTok sound that it's like, actually I'm going to pull it up and I'll play
I want to hear it.
Because it was like seriously the most truest. Hold on. I don't know her name, but she did the Monster-in-Law movie.
Jennifer Lopez?
No, who's the
Jane Fonda?
Yeah.
Yes.
Her. Okay, let's see.
What I would do. without my women friends. I mean, I have my friends, therefore I am. I don't even know.
Therefore I am.
Yeah,
well, think about this. And like as dark.
What I would do without my women friends. I mean, I have my friends, therefore I am. No, it's true. I exist because I have my women friends. They make me stronger. They make me smarter. They make me braver. They tap me on the shoulder when I might be in need of course correcting.
That's you. Yeah.
It was, I mean, truthfully, that sound, I feel like that right there is like the definition of what I would hope all women strive for. And I think 100%. That in a quote is girlhood, like just being there for each other and like having that supportive circle. And I think that our world is so hard. Why do we have to make it harder by talking shit on each other?
Exactly.
You know, like the world is already hard, full of
especially women. We have so many struggles with motherhood and just like stigmas and emotions that we go through. And so I think that you're right. Like having a woman in your life or women in your life that can support you and understand, like your husband at the end of the day will never understand the burden of motherhood. Yeah. You know, like I try to talk to Jordan about it and he'll never get it, you know? And even if your husband can be supportive and listen, you need another mom to vent to because moms are just so unique or women in general, even if you're not a mom, like I agree with that. And like, think about it this way. This is also really sad, but like, I don't know if your mom maybe went through this, but let's say your spouse dies. Yeah. You need a supportive group of people around you to help raise your kids or rally and help you feel better. Like I'm sure that your mom had people like that, you know, it's like, that's important.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that, you know, just to throw this out there, strong women raise strong women. Yes. And so be a strong woman. Yep. Be strong and be supportive and be loving and be caring. We have a lot of really like rough and tough and mean women in the world. Yes. We need more women that are kind. We need more women
but strong at the same time.
That are strong, but that can also show and be vulnerable and be comfortable showing that side and be comfortable being like, you know what? I'm vulnerable. Here I am. This is me. Like, take it or leave it. I'm going to support you and I'm going to love you because we, you know, like that's like what it is.
And then you attract those types of women back. Like I feel like if you're genuinely living that way, you're going to bring in better people too. Yeah.
Something that I also noticed that like I did want to chat, like just chat and get your take on was I feel like not recently, but I feel like since COVID, traditions are dying. Like, have you felt like that? Yes. I feel like maybe not like immediate family traditions, but like baby showers, bridal showers.
Everyone's like, I can do everything online now.
Like, like people are just like getting lazy. They want to stay at home. So many people work from home. Some people do this. And not that it's not a blessing because I think working from home for especially women, like being able to have moms or even dads. Yeah. But I also feel like I went to a baby shower the other week and I was like, man, like it was just so fun to be out and be supportive of a friend. And I'm like, I haven't done that in a long time. Yeah. And I'm like, we need to do more of that.
Like banned and it felt bad to do those things.
And like,
and then people got lazy. You're
our friends, like go to the birthday dinners, like be supportive of your friends, be there, like actually physically go out and be supportive and show up because it means a lot. It does. And that's something I would really want to teach Ivory is that like, I'm taking her to the birthday parties. I'm taking her to the bridal showers and to the baby showers because it's important to show up for your women friends, not just online and not just a text, but a physical, like in-person connection is going to beat a phone call or a text any day of the week. Not that that's all the way realistic all the time,
but when you have time for it, do it. Because I feel like in those big milestone moments for people, like a baby shower, a wedding, you need to be there, but also in the birthday dinners, because when times get hard, people think of who showed up in those moments. You know? And I think that you should take time for the people you love, even if life gets hard. Yeah. And that's why I think it is important to have those milestones, like when Megan, the manager, got married, like I threw her that bachelorette party because I'm like, she deserves to have this moment of like girlhood, you know, that's like such a thing of like getting married, like you should have that last moment, you know. And I feel like you're so right that like occasions like that, or just throwing your friends, not throwing them parties, but like doing something to make them feel special and appreciated, even if it is like, hey, let's go to dinner, I know you've been stressed lately. Like I agree with you, because the world has changed a lot in the last 4 years, and that's definitely something I think people have lost touch with, is like we'd all rather stay home now. Not me. I mean, I was back on a plane after 6 weeks, but like,
same. Literally,
but that's a good point. Yeah. Well, this was such a good episode. Was so good. I think next time we podcast, we should do the human design. I'm going to help you download the app, and you're going to plug things in, and then I think we should read them to each other and then like talk about what they mean. Because I think that also, like, every time we were talking, I kept being like, I wanted to reference things because it just tells you so much about like who you are, your personality, how you work, how you handle conflict, your friendships. Totally do it. Yeah. And I know it's also kind of like a girl thing to like buy into like the woo-woo stuff like like that. Like Jordan's like, he called it that. He's like the woo woo, but yeah, but this was a great episode. I loved it. Yes. So again, once we post about this, leave us a comment, or I'll do a comment box on my Instagram that you can just kind of tell us your girlhood memories. And then again, also leave us a review. We would love it. And then tell us what episodes you'd like to hear about in the future. Yeah. We do them once a week, hopefully, when we're not super busy. And we appreciate you being here. So thanks so much for listening, you guys. Bye.
See you later.
Thank you so much for listening to Just Jay-Z Podcast. You can catch us once a week here on Apple or Spotify, and you can also watch us on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe.